Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing the VA's definition of good cause when you miss your compensation and pension exam. Also, if you stick around long enough, I'm going to give you a bonus and I'm going to explain this as it pertains to veterans refusing their C&P exam when they submit a sufficient DBQ. Okay, everyone, before I drop some nuggets, make sure you click the link in the description section and get signed up for my monthly veterans membership. So today's video, what is the VA's definition for good cause when you miss a compensation and pension exam? Also, don't forget, I'm going to share some examples from when I was a rater and I saw veterans use this in their favor when they had sufficient DBQs. So let's go ahead and get into it. The one and only slide number one. Here's slide number one. This is from the M21-1 definition, good cause. And it states good cause means a reason that justifies failure to report for VA examination. VA will generally accept any reason offered by the individual, means you, as good cause for failure to report for an exam. Examples, and these are only examples, of good cause include, but are not limited to illness or hospitalization of the claimant or death of an immediate family member. Okay, again, these are just some examples. I know I'm getting a lot of comments. Dwayne, what about this? What about that? What about this? Well, when you read this, you have hundreds of other raters reading it too, okay? They may interpret your reason may not fall under good cause, and I may think that it is, okay? So if you leave me an example about, Dwayne, what about this? Is this a good reason? I'm gonna respond, hey, in my eyes, yes. In another rater eyes, maybe not, okay? A lot of gray area here. Exception. Good cause is not established if the claimant fails to provide any reason for failing to report. Indicates failure to report was based on general concerns about being exposed to and/or contracting an illness while undergoing examination, or indicates notice of the scheduled examination was not received. Now, let's talk about these three for a second, okay? Fails to provide any reason for failing to report. So how do you do it? Okay, if you know you've been scheduled for a compensation and pension exam on whatever date and you can't make it, two things that you can do. And these two things you need to do before this claim is adjudicated. Immediately call the VA at 800-827-1000, 800-827-1000, and inform them, hey, I had a C&P exam scheduled. I'm not going to be able to make it, and you give them the reason why. Also, let them know, please schedule me for another C&P exam because it could take another 2 or 3 weeks. So hopefully if you're in the hospital, you're out by then. If you had to attend a funeral, you're back, but you're going to have to gauge that, okay? Also, complete a VA form 21-4138, 21-4138, and put the same information on there and upload it on the VA's website as soon as possible. Now, the reason why you want to do that is because by the time you inform the third-party examiner, more than likely they're going to say, oh, veteran refused the exam or veteran no-show. They're not going to give the reason or may not, okay? I've seen that a lot of times, and then the vet turned around and called in and said, hey, I couldn't make it because I was going to be out of town. But the third-party examiner, they made it seem like, oh, the vet just didn't show up. So that's why I say you need to notify the VA. Do not count on that third-party examiner to let the VA know why you didn't show up. You need to do that, okay? That is your responsibility, and there's two ways that you can do it. Because by the time you get to the rater, I would be like, oh, well, wait a minute. Let me just reschedule it because this information is old, like a month old. So maybe the veteran is already good to go. All right. The second one indicates failure to report was based on general concerns about being exposed to and or contacting illness. Now, during COVID, yeah, I get it. Now they're saying no, okay? So you're gonna have to figure that one out on your own and make that decision. The third one indicates notice of the scheduled examination was not received. Now, let me say something about this. I've seen where a lot of veterans, they moved over the years. They would call VHA, Veterans Healthcare Administration, and update their address. But they wouldn't call VBA. They would think, oh, I'm calling VHA, so they're just gonna, correct it across the board. And wrong. They do not do that. If you call VHA, your primary care provider, update your address, okay, that's under VHA. You need to call VBA at 800-827-1000 and give them your new address. Also, put it on a VA form 21-4138. If you move 4 or 5 times and you only update your address with VHA, Veterans Healthcare Administration, the VBA, Veterans Benefit Administration, for the compensation piece, they don't know it. They're going to send it to that old address. It is your responsibility, okay? So now you know. These two entities, they don't talk to each other like that, all right? So definitely keep that in mind. Okay, main thing I want you to take away from the video, that last bullet comment, if you update your address, you move, you need to contact VHA and you need to contact VBA. I know a lot of veterans are gonna say, well, why do I gotta call both of them? Because you do, all right? Because if you say you missed that exam or you didn't get notified and you call VBA, VBA is gonna be like, oh, wait a minute, let's confirm your address. And first thing you're gonna say, oh, that's my old address. They're gonna say, that's all we have on file. Well, I contacted the VA. No, you contacted VHA under VA and updated it. You didn't contact VBA. There's no reason why you shouldn't do it because I'm telling you right now, okay? So just make sure you go back and look at that particular M21-1 for examples. Now, as it pertains to veterans having sufficient DBQs, okay? Now, you can have sufficient DBQs, and I've been talking about this in some of my videos. Some VA employees are refusing to use it and say, nope, I'm gonna make you go to a CMP exam anyway. And then it's up to the veteran if they decide to go or not, okay? Now, when I rate it, veterans will submit a DBQ, let's just say, for one example, an increase. I'm claiming an increase in my service-connected migraines since my last CMP exam. My condition has worsened. Now I meet with the following symptoms. I have very completely prostrating attacks, severe of economic inadaptability, and I missed several days from work. I just gave y'all a nugget on the 50% on the diagnostic code 8100, and I bet you didn't catch it. So make sure you rewind and watch it. Listen to it again, okay? Now, they would also say, please see attached DBQ. I'm submitting this as evidence under 38 CFR 3.326 subpart B, subpart C. Do not schedule me for a CMP exam. When I rate it, I will look at the DBQ. Yep, it's sufficient. I'm not scheduling an exam. Even if a VSR had already scheduled an exam, I will look at it. And if that exam confirmed they continue that veteran at 30% on the diagnostic code 8100, but the private DBQ that they submitted, okay, if it showed the 50% criteria, I just gave you the wording for it, I would use it. And then I would use the term probative value in the veteran's favor. And I have a video on that probative value, okay? Now, let's just say the veteran didn't go to the exam and it came back, oh, veteran refused the exam. Well, I'm gonna see on the 526 that they said, hey, I'm submitting this sufficient DBQ per this 38 CFR, right? Most raters today will deny it based on refusal of exam. When I rate it, I looked at it, yep, it's good to go. The VSR just requested the exam for nothing. They bogged down the system. This claim could have been rated weeks ago when the veteran submitted it, okay? So these are things that I'm talking about in these videos. You need to be educated and know your rights, per the 38 CFR, the M21 manual reference, and court cases, and use them in your favor and hold these VA employees accountable for doing all this additional unnecessary development, okay? So that is a good cause. I used it when I refused my exams, saying, hey, you got evidence from these DBQs that you can use. And I did it as a rater. Of course, the rater first said no, but then they had to come back because, hey, I threw them 38 CFRs that we all learned as raters, okay, in training. And they were like, you know what? I'm gonna have to use it. And that's exactly what they did. But again, a lot of these VA employees are not doing it. Make sure you get educated and you make the best informed decision as it pertains to your claim. So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.